Oh my gosh. Oh. Do you sometimes just feel like it's just too much? You've got coworkers that have been laid off, the company's not hiring people, and you are left to pick up the slack, right? I mean, it's just like, why couldn't I have been one of the people that got laid off so that I can go home and enjoy summer with my kids? No, instead I'm stuck here at work, or maybe stuck at home, got kids screaming and yelling in the background. And what am I doing? Oh my gosh, like I've got all this extra work I have to do, and just feel like you're like pulling your hair out, right, moms? Like this is just nuts. And so I hear ya. It's a legitimate thing that you can have this overwhelm of like, wait a minute, like there's just way too much to do. So here's a tip that can kind of help you with managing this a little bit. So one of the things that you want to think about is that you probably cannot push back on your boss and be like, no, I can't do that, whatever, right? But you can definitely have a conversation and just say, okay, that's fine that you need me to pivot and pick up this stuff over here, or you need me to help out in this whatever way. However, Mr. or Mrs. Manager, what is something else that you think is okay that I don't spend as much time on? Because if I'm going to pick up this extra stuff over here, what's something else that's already been on my very big to-do list that I need to let go of, right? So what's maybe not as essential? So here's one little piece about this too, is before you go and step into this conversation with your boss, look at your list of all the stuff that you do. And if you haven't really stopped and really looked at all the stuff that you do, one little thing that you can do for yourself, this is just kind of a quick little business hack, is on your desk, put a pad of paper, just get like a regular legal pad of paper, and everything that you do, just write it down. You don't have to write down like an exhaustive job description what you do, but just write down little pieces, parts of what it is that you do, right? So sending emails to customers, following up with vendors, on the phone talking with such and such team member about such and such project, or just like write down all these little pieces. That way you get to the end of the week and you can see all of this stuff listed out. Then you can take a look at it and say, okay, out of all of the stuff on here, what do I know like in my heart, right? Because God prompts you on stuff too, but what is it that I can tell looking at this list that I can minimize? What is not essential to what is really critical for me having success in this role that I know that I'm supposed to do? Because things creep onto our to-do list, right? You know what I'm talking about. And so look at these things and say, okay, what's not essential? And then start to kind of piece those things out and set it off on the side, and then narrow your list down. So out of those non-essential things, when you go and have this conversation with your boss to say, hey, that's great that you want me to do stuff, but what's one of these other things over here that maybe I can cut back on? Or maybe I can do it once a week instead of 5 days a week or something, because something's got to give. And if you don't do this, if you don't advocate for yourself, you're going to continue to get trampled on. And that sucks. And I do not want to see you beautiful working Christian moms get trampled on just because you're too scared about losing your job, okay? I understand that it's stressful. I understand that with COVID, things are just a little bit nuts and that there's a lot of extra crazy that's going on. I totally get that, okay? 100% understand that for sure. I'm just simply saying you can also stand up for yourself. You can also say, you know what? I know that somebody's got to pick up the slack. However, that doesn't mean that we take on everything. This might be a good opportunity to reevaluate and decide what's essential, what's not essential. What do we still do for our customers? What do we cut back on? What are some processes, projects, whatever? What are things that need to be reevaluated? Being proactive like that and speaking up to your boss may be just the thing that your team needs, so you guys can start getting rid of this fluff and this stuff that's just not serving anymore. So don't be scared, but do it in a meaningful way. Be thoughtful, write this stuff down. Stop and think about it, ponder on it. Just like you would ponder the scriptures. You stop and you think and you ponder on it. Think, okay, what does this mean? Same thing. What does this mean about my day? Is there something here that maybe needs to be reevaluated? And then go have that conversation with your boss. What's the worst thing that could happen? They could say, no, you need to keep doing it, right? Okay, great. But at least you've spoken up, you've communicated, right? And do it in a respectful way, of course, right? So this can help you with dealing with that crazy that's happening. As you're like I'm picking up the slack for all these people. Oh, this is nuts, right? this is a technique that can help you so that you get yourself over a little bit of that crazy. And you know what? As working Christian moms, we need a lot less crazy. All right, sisters, I will catch you next time to your successful and inspired career. Thanks so much.